We're live. That's it. We did it. We made it onto the internet, Ian.
That's all there is. Nothing left to do.
That's all there is. That's what this is. That's it. We did the work. Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the Hi There Show After Hours. It is Sunday, July 4th. We're just chilling. I'm in my basement. Ian's in his pink room with very cool design behind him, which he came up with by himself, by the way.
It's all me.
You're like completely no comment at all on that one. Yeah, we're just we wanted to do some work on the show itself, on the actual like what are we doing here on YouTube. We've been having some fun in the last like series of episodes. I mean, between us, we kind of have, I think, enough experience to put it all together into like a nice production with the branding and the everything. So I don't know. Ian was like, "Why don't we stream it?" And I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's it. That's why
It's
we're
an
here.
episode of the show about making the show. So that's
We
kind
were
of meta.
parting the curtain here a little bit,
You know,
giving you a peek behind the curtain.
we got to try some
totally.
stuff out, and why not make it live? That way we're held a little bit more accountable for the things that we say and do.
For the things that we say and do and broadcast to the world. I think that's a good idea. We came into this and I have no idea what the format is of how we're going to map this thing out, but maybe it's like post-it notes and diagrams and, you know how we do on Figma. You do know how we do, right? You're like, look, I completely forgot how we do. What is this? What are we doing here?
What do we need?
What are
our needs?
Okay, well, what are our needs here? I guess we're talking about the show. So we've kind of gone in this new direction where we want to make apps. We want to use our time streaming to, I guess, take ideas from wherever we can get them, ideally from our audience, and then make them, like, go through a design process that I guess you would maybe see in an agency, or maybe see, I guess, only in an agency, or, like a startup or like a product-based business. Yeah. Go through that process, and then, which we think is really interesting. Like, the design process is really cool. Go through all the steps and come up with, like, I don't know, a creative brief or a technical brief, or, I mean, it's not even that, because it's sort of a mishmash of material on the screen that you need the video to contextualize. But that's okay, I think.
It's good. I mean, yeah, it's the process. It's just, it's the process with, a few caveats. One, we're finding our ideas. We're getting our ideas somewhere. And we kind of want ideas that will be weird or funny, I think. I mean, a serious app would be cool too, but we are looking for stuff that can, provide some entertainment value, I think, as you've noticed. And, we have a limited amount of time for, quote, research. Usually we'll do our own research. We're not, going out and interviewing people and interviewing customers and talking to users. There's a lot of fake stuff going on.
Yeah,
but again, it's the process, and I think it's the thought that counts. Although I think kind of the reason that we're one of the reasons we want to change things up is like we want to have a bit more time to mess around with the stuff that we're doing.
A bit more
maybe
time.
We can, like last time we did reach out to the guy that originally suggested the idea for the pizza app. It was a bit short notice, and I think we sent him a link to the Figma file, just kind of like, hey, you have any thoughts on this? I don't know if it was necessarily set up perfectly for giving feedback on, but hey, we tossed it out there. But hypothetically, we'll have more time for that in the future. I'd love to get people's opinions on stuff. I'm not hinging on it.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting, detailed feedback as we might need if we were really making something, but it would be cool if we got some thoughts back from people. Why not?
And I think I think we'll get there. I mean, that's part and parcel too with the branding stuff that we were talking about, where like I think the Hi There brand that we've come up with, like I think it's really cool, but I don't think it does enough out front to communicate what we're actually doing, which is, I guess, UX people who work on apps, working on apps in this capacity.
Yeah.
Like, we're making cool apps over here, and like there is that comedy element to it, or at least to, like, I don't know, keep it entertaining, extol the virtues of our craft through like goofing on it, which is kind of what you and I do conversationally every day anyway. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I feel like
We're designing apps.
when we're posting links like that, yeah, we're designing apps, and that's sort of like present in what we're doing. But like when we send a clip out or we post something on Twitter, like we should have all the bases set so it's like immediately evident like what these two goofballs are up to
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, agree. Well, it's almost like
What do we have?
if you know, if we were giving ourselves, well, we're reviewing our own work. It's like if somebody showed that to me, I'd be like, yeah, you got to like prep a little bit more for this. Like, what are the you know, what's the person receiving this supposed to think about what's going on here without any context and whatnot. So
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Just to get people in, and two, I think the changes to that we're talking about with the format and stuff go a long way to that. Remove ambiguity, like, you know, just like really dial in on focus, like, hey, this week we're designing it, because like we get through it and it's extremely fun to do, but man, it would be a lot easier if we were like, okay, this week for 2 hours we're working on this weird chat app that we've been working on, and now we're in the design phase. So actually like breaking out an app's design into like 3-4 episodes or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
I kind of struggle to
It
describe
gives us
it.
time to.
I mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
I I agree with you that like we should be open to doing real apps. Like that expectation should be there, maybe. Like I don't want to say like we're a comedy show and we have this shtick, you know.
Yeah, I would design a real app.
I feel like the only problem is once we get into a real app is it takes a very long time.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's like I guess when we say
Because then you want to take it
yeah, if you say
seriously.
real app, is it like an app that like potentially could be real and we're just trying to take it really far, or is it like no, I'm somebody wants to make this and we're just like doing it.
I mean, to do something on a stream where we were like, no, this is like a good app, and this is like, I just feel like that's I don't know, it's a lot of effort. I guess it's not like not doable. But to like, it's easy to goof on something, you know, and just say like, hey, this is like fun, and we, you know, talked about what we do, as opposed to saying this is like my actual professional opinion that I get paid
Mm.
for.
Yeah, it's hard to like yeah, anticipate how long something will take or how long we should spend on something, I think. But I like
But
this.
I
Oh, go
mean,
ahead.
maybe no, I totally lost it, and I was like, man, I keep cutting off Ian.
I gotta
I maybe it's one of those things where we just don't take it seriously enough, where it never matters or it comes up. We set up these slates like on a per episode basis. So for anyone listening or listening back to this in the future, what we want to do is like take the episodes that we're doing now and break them out into, I don't know, whatever the proper number is. I would say 3 to 4
yeah,
is
like
off the
three is a
bat.
good round number to start at, I think. Like just as a
Yeah.
general ballpark.
And yeah. And then we can keep like we have a discovery session where we talk about what it is and go through all the steps that you would, not all of the steps, but you go through steps that you would go through in a discovery phase with a client. Design it. Yeah, that's do we split it up into UX UI? I hear UX UI is like very hot right now on Twitter. Everyone's
Maybe
putting UX UI on
yeah, I
images.
feel like that. I feel like yes, in a way, we do, but maybe we let it let's see how that shakes out. Because I think sometimes we kind of like dive into like some wireframing and concepts like when we're pretty early on, and I think that's okay. Like I like the general
Mm-hmm.
process of like you do the UX like you know high level and you get more granular and pixel perfect, but sometimes you have ideas for stuff sooner on. But I think that's kind of the general, like it's like the UX of like what's this
Yeah,
trying to
I
do, and
agree.
it's just like how does this flow through, and then or like what screens or pages or steps are in this, and then it's like oh okay they need to log in and then you know create an account and then add their items or whatever it is that you do. Um,
Yeah, I think that I know for me, like I think that we get into design on the stream, like or trying to put panels down because it looks good.
yes.
It makes the screen look full and like there's lots going on. And then at the end of 2 hours, we can say like, hey, here's like a thing, but it hardly looks fleshed out in any way because we haven't spent enough time on each thing.
Hmm. Yeah, and I get like that too. It's like people want to see like some nice designs. People want to see it come together in a way that, you know, is fun and like cool looking.
I mean, I think we can still be doing napkin
I
drawings
agree.
early
Yeah.
on, like to describe a thing that you're talking about. But yeah, the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna make like 4 iPhone screens here, and I'm just let's bang out some panels. Like that's not.
It's not a
Yeah, I
race. I
agree.
felt like before we were rushing a bit, which, you know, we were trying to get it in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're talking about here. Is like it's just not that it wasn't working. It's fun and it's fun as hell for us to do. We just want to make sure that it's like cohesive for people who are watching it.
Yeah.
And like you say, like spend more time like in UX design because then we can just spend a section talking about the interesting parts of UX design, and then we can spend a session talking about the interesting parts of the UI or
Yeah.
whatever.
And then get some, I think, you know, that's where we usually come up with some other cool ideas, like a little bit more features and details and fun stuff or concepts that this or questions that we explore to kind of ask ourselves like, oh, what else can this do? So it's a good chunk of time. And now we will have more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. I'm glad I'm glad I'm happy with the way things are going because I think we started out with an idea that was just like let's design on stream, and we kind of didn't really even know what that meant. Um, and
Well, for the first little while, yeah, like
yeah, I
sorry,
was to say
finish your
we
thought.
almost like still don't. But I feel like if we had tried to have this, if we tried to figure it out without doing something first, we'd probably still be having the discussion without having made anything, and then we wouldn't know. We wouldn't
Well, we're
know yet
not.
what was cooler or what we thought.
Well, neither of us are like broadcast professionals, right? Like, I mean, I guess I probably shouldn't go too hard to explain myself, but like, I don't. We're sitting here like dicking around right now, live on how to do this and learning how to do it. I really saw the show as like a reflection of like again like the kind of stuff that we talk about and that we find entertaining because we both work in design and we're constantly talking about design and riffing on design and like how can we translate that into a stream where we at least just get to do it together once a week at the very
Mm-hmm.
least.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the very least. Oh, I got a soundboard too. I wanted to try that out tonight.
Oh yeah, you get a
It's
soundboard.
cool. It's pumping
That's
into the stream, but I can also hear it in my headphone as like a monitor. But you won't
okay.
know that it plays, I guess. There'd be no way for you to hear it. Unless I can like pump it back into Zoom uh, via this app. I'm actually going to try that. No, can't be done. Wait.
Could you capture it with loopback?
That's what I'm doing.
Just as like a separate app that's in your
That's what I've got it
stack.
set up as. It's just
How would
I
I
would have to
hear
go
it?
into Zoom, I think, and add like another audio source.
That would be really cool if you could just do that in terms of like add another audio source here.
Audio settings. I don't think you can have more than one audio source. Hold on, you'll probably stop hearing me for a second.
Okay. Can they hear me? Who
They
knows? We'll
can,
go
but
with
you
it.
can't hear me now, can you?
I gotta get a description from. So you were saying some of the descriptions we had on recent videos were like kind of to the point. Holy shit! I heard
All
it.
right, so
It was like a truck.
I can't do both at the same time.
Where's
I wish there's got to be a way so that you can hear it too. I thought I'd be able to do it the same way as I have it set up. Hold on.
get rid of this logo.
So yeah, we've got a rudimentary soundboard with a bunch of. I have some like positive and negative sounds, I guess. So we got some like some cheering, but then some like laugh tracks. And we've also got like we've got our air horn. Classic, pretty classic stuff.
Pretty classic stuff. Pretty good.
So we're making progress. Yeah,
work it in.
Starting to get a little more official here. We've got a soundboard, just like every good YouTube show does. I need to rename the sounds because I don't know what they all do. Oh, we got Mario getting a
you need the Jamaican dance hall. Like,
oh yeah, was the first. That's number 1 and 2 in the list.
I feel like that's probably whoever made that sample is probably pissed that they didn't properly license it whenever they did. I can't pull the vectors in here. I just want to get some of the branding stuff in here to talk about the writing because the graphics are decent. Like they work, I think, visually.
Yeah, totally.
I haven't really posted them anywhere to get feedback or check.
Let me get back in. Let's get away from soundboard land. So good.
Okay, but I do need the hi there logo. Even the logo, to a certain extent, was supposed to be sarcastic, I guess. Like, it's got the number 1 thing happening as if it was the foam glove, but it's the peace sign and the finger's been lopped off.
I like it.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Cool. Look at all this assets. Take a dip in the ocean of app ideas.
I mean, how does that need to change? Like, what are your thoughts on this stuff?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty good. We just don't use it everywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I guess so. Probably not podcast, probably show.
I was thinking that too.
We're taking the dip in the ocean of app ideas and create a new. Like, is there a way to maybe simplify that to a certain degree? So, like, this is like a sort of like funny version or whatever.
Yeah, I like funny version. My brain is churning.
A show
where we make apps. We design stuff for real. Get my copywriting juices flowing here. To do that, I'm gonna.
Oh right, you can't grab my box.
I got this.
I don't want to say a UX design show, a show where two UX designers. We can talk about the validity of the term UX. Like, I don't. Maybe if you're just seeing the word designers paired with the word app for the general public, like that's enough information.
Yeah, I agree.
There also seems to be like a lot of, I don't know, not dissent, but shittiness in the community about what UX and UI is at the moment, as if they're the same thing at all.
It's a conversation that I simultaneously want no part of and also want to spend my entire life debating, depending on my mood. Like, I get it, but I'm also like kind of over it. I'm ready to just do the work. Or I guess we've always been doing the work.
There does seem to be a lot of different specialties like there within design. Like, you can be a designer more like on the art direction end of things that works on digital product, and you can have a huge whole full career path. You can be an experienced designer that really has nothing to do with the visual end of things, and you can have a full whole career from it. It's kind of weird times.
It is weird.
Huh, that's interesting. Fake apps.
I don't know why I keep going to fake apps, but they're not fake, but they kind of.
But it's no, but they kind of are.
It's funny. It's got a little bit of. It's like direct, you know what I mean? Like it's not like apps that aren't really real, but they could be real, but they're not actually making real apps.
No, I think like, yeah, I agree, because the other avenues you go too far down the Tim and Eric thing again, where we're being like shticky guys playing a role, and that's kind of annoying. Maybe, unless we thought it was really like fun and cool or something.
Maybe we'll bring in the shticky guy. It's a guest.
That's really good. Oh. I'm bummed about it. It's so good.
It's funny because I was trying to
we're a show where real designers make fake apps.
Who wouldn't want to watch that? Who's our target audience? Everybody? No, I don't know. Designers.
Designers, other
designers.
People in it. I mean, right from the get-go, we kind of saw
that?
it. We wanted to create like a lounge where you could talk about design, and we could potentially have other designers on.
Yeah, we really want
to. This have fits that
on.
bill.
Where's our stupid chat, and why isn't anybody in it?
But I think that's why we're getting chat concurrent viewers. Jesus Christ. I think that's what we're doing, is sort of setting up a framework that's loose enough where maybe like people can operate in that or feel comfortable operating in that, because there's no designer who's going to want to go on a show and like just do more work.
It's just a trap where we're getting paid to make the apps, and we just get random designers to work 2 hours a week till it's done. Just like, sucker.
And then we can say like, suckers, we had 220 different designers work on this app, and it's perfect.
Oh my god, that would be that. I don't know. That's almost like a funny idea in itself.
Like it's like sort of like a never-ending. Like how
I feel like it's like one of those things. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it exists where like everybody like paints like a thing, and then you have this like collage at the end.
Yeah, it's called a corpse.
Yeah, that is a thing.
It's called like the immaculate corpse, or the beautiful corpse, or something like that. And people used to do Photoshop corpses, like really highly organized ones on big forums and stuff with really talented designers, and they would all contribute. what's the UX version of that where you're like handing an XD file off?
I feel like I've worked on apps. I feel like I've used apps that were like that. They were just so bad. It's like, did 10 people design this that never talk to each other? I think that is it though. Like basically having a brief or like instruction or like a set of here's what we're doing, like a detailed enough thing where it's like here's like features we have to design, user stories or something, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
just like keep passing it along. And people can like check off, I guess, when they've done their thing. But it's like you just have a list of features and you keep passing the file along and like the brief and that's it. And it's just like work on it. And the only feedback, the
Just
only
work on it
information
and
that
see what comes
changes
out
is
at
that
the
if
other end.
somebody thinks they've finished a feature, they can check it off as mark it as done. But I guess if another person were to look at it and say like, "Oh, I don't think that's done. That's not done. It just goes forever."
That would be a pretty cool. It well, I'm thinking about it. You would need somebody like an intermediary to go like, no, this is approved. Like this file
Yeah,
is done.
okay. Yeah, you would need yeah.
It fits my needs. But there's some sort of merit there in like, what if you what if you did like not a I don't want to say a design contest, but like you had as many designers as you possibly could collaborate on one project in a really open way.
At the same time or like the other
No, like you say, like concurrent. Like there's like a list of features and it just like keeps moving along.
that would be could be fun. It's like, all right, Figma,
That
let's
would
see
be
what you
cool.
got. You think you're pretty good, eh? Let's throw.
I I do feel like we're creating a framework to bring other people in here.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, you know, it's we do the discovery. We've got like some fun, wacky idea, or maybe it's something really silly, and we've decided to work through it. Um, we have an episode where we're going to do UX design, and we can talk to UX people or UX friends, and then we have an episode where we're going to do UI, and we can just focus on that. And the set and setting is loose enough that like you can come work on it. We can sit and shoot the shit and design this thing. But again, you don't have to worry about saying this is actually my professional opinion, which almost certainly like would get holes picked in it. Like that's the worry for
Mm.
designers. Like I do all my research so that when I go into a meeting, I can answer all those questions. And then when somebody picks a hole in it, you can be like, this is why. This is why, Ian.
This is the reason. And I yeah,
Idea shortlist. Okay, we're
makes
getting
me
into the
think,
goop
well,
here.
that got me thinking of like, I don't want to over structure it. But like
No, no, no.
that made me realize like, yeah, having this more structure will make it better for bringing new people on because it's like, all right, here's what it is that we do. You can get an idea of it. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, here's what we're doing now. Here's what we're doing next. Just like direction for us to follow, right? Just enough direction.
Well, because it is like it is just enough direction because the design process or any design process is like step by step by step. It goes and it goes and it goes. At least this way, we're like funneling the effort into channels, I guess.
I don't know. What else do we do during this? I guess it could depend too. Cause like,
Ask meaningful questions.
yeah. Cause like last time we came to the discovery with an idea already, but this is where we like
I almost said develop ideation.
this is where we like
Ask
throw
meaningful
ideas at the
questions.
board. We pick the idea that we're working on.
Huh. What else is included in that? Because aside from picking the idea, like, how do we fill 2 hours picking an idea? What do
Usually
you.
that takes us a bit of time because we're discussing like what each idea could be. So that's just kind of like
Yeah,
brainstorming, I
yeah,
guess.
okay. That's pretty true too, because we do take the time to like take each idea and just run with it as far as we want.
So yeah,
Okay,
so
that
we
makes
list.
sense. What else? What kind of material would you develop in a discovery session? Normally, I would schedule interviews and like meetings from different parts of the company. I would ask every question in the whole world and then record it and try and quantify sentiment and do that kind of stuff. Like do a discovery, do all the interviews, and then come back to the client with a document that says, here's like what we talked about, here's how it's going to impact our thinking, like here's what was important, here's what wasn't, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's really about what are we making, I guess, at the end of the day, because we can't obviously do all that process. But yeah, I think that's what, so what you described, it's like at the end of that, you're trying to figure out what are we going to design? What are we making? So I guess that's the goal of the discovery, is to figure out what we're going to make, right? What are we making? Is that
Well,
fair?
I figure out what we're going to make and then some sort of extended discussion beyond
Yeah.
that.
What are we making? And what does it do? What problems does it solve? What features? I mean, saying what you know, I'm taking a bit of a liberty there, saying what problems does it solve?
That's kind of a tough one, because some of the ideas that we get are like, I want an app that like makes a bicycle come to my house when I push a button, and like that's
in spirit,
I guess it solves a problem.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's what are we making? I guess we don't really do concepts in discovery, do we?
Well, you should feel free to like draw.
Yeah, let's leave it.
Draw a piece of UI, or like I think that we should always leave wireframing on the table to a certain degree. With, I guess we're not doing any wireframing. No, that's in UI design.
Yeah, that's between UX UI, I think.
You're going to see more wireframes in the UX design episode as sort of ideas and the functionality starts to get flashed out.
I mean, it's...
And then UI is where wireframing, because there's not a reality where we can do a slick ass graphic design in 2 hours. Maybe like that Dracula drapes store that we did.
Yeah. Yes.
That, like, something of that quality, like it should be dumb and kind of shitty.
I think we should try and color it in as much as we can. But yeah, realistically, you don't. Yes. That's a lot of effort to make everything, especially like when to actually get it production ready, go into like pixel perfection.
Yeah, the amount of templates that you need to properly illustrate an idea.
Yeah, like, and these are all new ideas, I think.
The user logs in.
Yeah. And these are all new ideas, presumably,
generally, yeah.
So we're not going to have like an existing style guide or brand logos and stuff to pull from. Although,
and again, it's flexible, because like it seems like sometimes we come up with wireframes that look more like wireframes, and then sometimes it's like a Google car with a t-shirt gun on it. Both are concepts. Both are wireframes in a way. What up to all the concurrents out there? Weigh in on chat. Let us know what you think. If you're out there, reach out. We're taking a step back and talking about what we're doing, because this is fun. Like, streaming design online is extremely fun for us, and we want to keep doing it. Yeah. So we're just kind of hashing out the structure, because we find we don't have enough time to do all the cool and hilarious stuff we want to do. So if you have any suggestions, you can reach out to us on chat. You can also reach that email at thehitherShow@gmail.com, or on Twitter at hithertweets. Where else are we? We have a Quora account. You can reach out to us on Quora with your questions.
Hey, maybe that's where we should be. It's just answering people's questions on Quora. But badly.
I would love to answer people's questions. Like, I know we don't want to be an advice show, or like, I don't know. I guess we've never actually said that, but like, hi, I've started this business and I want to evolve online and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how do you do this specifically? To offer that advice to somebody would be very fun. So post it in chat. Want a free website? Reach out to Ian on Twitter at Porcelain Duck. Send him all your freelance requests. He's got time and he's into it hard.
I love working all the time. For sure.
I love, my favorite part about having a career where I can freelance and make extra money is never having any free time and always being stressed and tired and unhappy. It's great. UX design, what do people do with it? I like that.
I specifically said that. I was going to say, what does it do? Which is also true, but I was like, I wanted to make it user first, user centric.
What does it do, but how do people use it? And I think what do people do with it covers both of those.
Go with it. No one's going to argue.
I pine for the days of Photoshop templates. The whole design process just used to be episode 3, baby.
It really did. It's just like, we need a website. It's just like,
it really did.
I remember you wouldn't even like ask like for like a sitemap of like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be like, oh, what are the pages? Or, it's just like, oh, I'll just placeholder nav for now. That doesn't matter. Let's just design the homepage of a cool site.
The idea that you told people like, no, you need to pay for me to spend time to think about what needs to go on this website. No one ever said that. Now we do. Oh, I have a big hat line on my head. I've been wearing a hat.
I can't see it.
Gross. What do people do with it? So I feel like in the UX design part, there's all kinds of stuff we can do. We can do thought, cloud, sentiment, org, flow, charts.
A thought cloud sentiment.
A thought cloud sentiment, dialysis. That's when we actually pipe the sentiments into your blood.
Okay.
Filter it through a machine.
You will feel delighted.
You will feel delighted at a well thought out product. Users needs, problems, features, flows, demo. So like, who is the user? I guess.
Who is the user? Is it hamburger menu? Down here.
Did you just make a hamburger menu?
No, there is one over here. I'm gonna save
it. Nice.
Save it for later.
That seems like something we would have done.
I can reheat that. Oh yeah, remember we were bringing in Fig Jam components and everything. There needs to be, that's probably what they're working on right now. It's like, how do we just like merge Figma and Fig Jam? Get all these components. Because I would like to use these, but I'd
like to use those, and like we were talking about making our own, and I'd love to make our own.
Yeah, well, that's what these guys are down here. We got a good start on it.
Yeah, but again, we ran into that problem of like, we'd have to keep like slugging at it, or at least for me to do an illustration that I felt really good about would be a long time.
I was pretty happy about these sunglasses though.
Yeah, it was dope. Well, too, I mean, that was like, let's figure out how to draw in Figma as well. Let's spend time doing that. $10.20. You want to take a $5?
Yeah, let's take a...
Or a $3?
Yeah, let's take a $3.
I need literally 90 seconds and I'll be right back.
We'll be back in a couple minutes.
We promise. Listen, I know we say this and it's 8, 10, 12 minutes sometimes. 3, baby. We'll be right back.
And we are back on board.
We're back. That wasn't 3 minutes. That was several minutes. That was my fault. Sorry, y'all. I gotta feed that cat. She needs it. She needs it. I actually feed her at dinner time, but I've gotten into this little tradition where I put like, a few more little things in her bowl and she loves it. But all right, we're live on YouTube and I'm talking about my cat. What up? We're here. Right. This is Hi There After Hours. We're just talking about what we're actually doing with this show of ours because we've been having a lot of fun doing it. And we want to make it into something that really resonates. So we've just been kind of breaking down exactly, I don't know, how do we map this out over the course of like a few episodes to give us some more time to think about each part of the app and make it hopefully more entertaining for you, our concurrent viewers. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. What were you saying? You just had an idea for something.
Did I?
Maybe. I have one more thought on like that first episode where we pick a new idea, and that should all be pretty like apparent in the branding or like whatever the thumbnails we're doing, like at what point in the arc you're at, like design, UX design, etc.
Fire away.
But anyway, on that discovery episode, we're probably going to end up talking about what we made from the last set.
Oh yeah, that's our
so like a wrap up on, hey, we made this app, it completely changed the world. Thoughts on, and that's where ideally we reach out to people, because so far we've just been getting these like funny ideas off of message forums and stuff, and it would be funny to actually send those to that person and see what they thought. This is pretty good. Like, hey, your idea was really compelling, so we have 6 hours worth of content on YouTube breaking it down for you. You should check this out.
Yeah,
I think that would be pretty funny to get.
Yeah, I think it's. Hey, here's we what is it? We picked up your idea and ran with it. Just want to leave you this for some thoughts.
How does it work? Is maybe more important here than what does it look like.
That some of that'll probably get
not like that matters. I mean, we're making notes that to the audience are going to be totally invisible. Like, I get that for sure, but that's how we do.
Maybe detailed designs, who knows? Prototypes, sure.
Prototypes, I mean, that's sort of your department of specialty.
It's just a fun thing we might be able to do.
Sure, in that, yeah, like maybe you want to prototype a thing or talk about how, like, oh, I have an idea for how to use variants to prototype this thing in a way that's really cool.
Oh, that's true. I do like variants sometimes.
Variants are pretty good. I use them extensively in XD. And for like increasingly weird things, like the other day I was using variants in XD to make like a mobile nav.
Okay.
Like here is the hamburger button, but now in this second variant, it actually takes up the entire panel and has the, everything in it, as a way to store it. Or I was making, I was designing components that were going to be used for a lazy loader.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you scroll down a page, it needs to load more content. You see some sort of graphic that tells you that content is loading. And normally what you see is like ghost versions of that content. It's like a sort of an outline of what will be there to show you as it loads.
Yeah. I like those. I was going to say I call them like skeleton loading or something, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Using variants to make sure that stuff is in there and accessible and easy to get to when you need it.
So you can really change from like normal state to loading state.
Yeah, just as like and then it's like inherent in every element because it's stored as a variant in the master element, so I can switch that stuff on and off at any time. um, is pretty handy. Those dang variants.
They're tricky.
I get it in Figma for sure. I find it a little more clunky, but it's just because it's not the system I learned on.
Yeah, when things are just different because they're different. I'm just messing with this. I felt like I was like, do we need live? Do we want UX design? Do we put live here, or do we like leave live for? Is live important? Is live that important here? Is it just?
I think that it can probably live. I mean, we're doing the copywriting thing. And I mean, neither of us are copywriters, but you work around that stuff for long enough and you get to it. But this is where you're actually like breaking down what you're saying and what it's achieving. And so that's why we're being obnoxious about this.
Yeah, we want it. Yeah, we want it to sound good. We want, for first thing, it's got to communicate what's going on. It's got to land in people's brains, and we want it to sound good. We want to say. I mean, I'm not a copywriter, but what I'm trying to do is make sure that it says what we want it to say and is like succinct-ish, like sounds pretty good and reads well, and that's where I always leave it. And then if other people want to take it and make it better, copywriters and whatnot, go ahead. I usually drop it at the like, I'll mash something out like this is what the intent of the copy is supposed to be.
I know for me, when I write something, like my path to making it better is to simplify it.
Try to make it
like I write things. I'm too verbose. I try to over contextualize things. Grammarly hates me, so I find I'm usually like, okay, here's the thing I wrote. Now I just need to peel it back to its most simplest form.
Try to reduce.
Kind of like animators. When an animator like designs a character, they're looking at like, okay, how do I draw this in 4 shapes? How can I do it as a full drawing? How can you walk it back and look at it, you know, as a design in its most simplest form? A show where real UX designers make fake apps. I liked it without the word UX.
I could see that.
But is that like an outrage to the UX community? You know, the people are so like hype over their fucking job titles nowadays.
No.
I don't know if just saying like, hey, we're designers that make apps. Is that like, would somebody look at that and be like, well, what do you mean? You know?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think it's accurate. We are designers. I'm a designer.
I'm an interior designer and I think about pillows all day, but I'm flirting with this lately.
I mean, this is what design is. If you want to get, if those people that get hung up on titles want to really like throw down into like terminology land, I think design, design is like the form and the function of it. Like a screw is a design, and it's the way that it you know, it's the way that it is because every part of it is kind of design. You know what I mean? Like it's the way that it is because it needs to like go into a piece of wood. So it's pointy at the end and it's got like the corkscrew pattern so that it like bites and pulls itself in, right? Like a screw is designed the way that it is so to do the thing that it does. You know what I mean? So design is how it works, is what Steve Jobs would say. I really want to.
Yeah, I always I say always. I go back to I think you're totally right. I go back to the Wikipedia entry on design, and it's the thoughtful consideration of the application of a product or task or something like that. But it's very simple. It's like the thoughtful consideration of a something, usually starting with pencil and paper.
Yeah, the thoughtful consideration. Yeah, we're thoughtfully considering what the thing needs to do for our people, I guess, that are.
So, I mean, in that, I'm sort of comfortable if we were to say this is our tagline that's going to be on every image that advertises the show, I'm cool keeping UX off of that, because I think that we get there to live with streaming live every Thursday, and we get to we're designers making apps. One, because users have found us, but two, it's like what other kind of design do you do to make applications?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree with you.
Apps is even sort of
What's that?
Apps is even sort of like dubious.
I know.
Because it's like, well, at the end of the day, we're all making software unless you work on the web and then you're making a style sheet.
Yeah, it's like you could say products, but then that starts to be like, to me, I think that's almost too industry focused. Like, I don't think anyone except us would say like product design. If you said product design to the average person, they'd think you mean like a toothbrush.
Oh yeah, you're doing packaging designs for
So
deodorant.
as much as I think like our audience is designers, it feels like, I don't know, everyone says apps, but I know what you mean.
And they are apps. I mean, I doubt that.
Yeah, they're applications. Sure.
It's not like we're going to get into like a really heavy software as a service piece of software for offshore oil rig, like, you know what I mean, like that other side of digital design that is very non-commercial stuff.
Yeah, like an enterprise software. I like apps.
Enterprise level software solution, as easy to use as Uber. intuitive as enterprise level software solution. A show where real designers make fake apps. It's so elegant. Everybody gets that. I should text that to my dad. Oh, he's in bed.
Yeah, and then we
just
can
text him that line, and I'll get something back.
It's like, yeah, and then we can be like, what? It's like, yeah, we take ideas that we find or are sent to us and try and like run through a process, an actual process to turn them into something real. And we stream it live. Of course, it's condensed process. You know.
Yeah, like it's made for TV, obviously.
Yeah, made for TV. It's a condensed process made for TV. But we're real designers, and it's a real process.
I'm not. I've actually been making it up this whole time. You know how a lot of designers suffer from imposter syndrome? I'm just actually an imposter.
Yeah, I am an imposter. I haven't designed anything.
Yeah, I just showed up on the scene a few years ago. Never designed anything. My portfolio is empty. I'm not working, but I am a designer. I will make your website. A show where real designers make fake apps. Streaming live on Thursday. That's cool. Not to be like a shithead about it, but we could probably drop the 9 p.m. AST off of there too. If it was a character count thing.
Yeah, Eastern time is the known time zone. America doesn't even, I mean, not that we're huge and American, but America doesn't even have an Atlantic time zone. And I mentioned, I brought it up during a meeting, and it was kind of like, no, Eastern time is where it starts. And I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, and then it's just ocean.
I'm a stupid
there's
Canadian.
2 more, and I'm not going to explain it. I'm not even going to get into Newfoundland's extra half an hour for some reason.
They just wanted to make it difficult for everybody.
I'm so on board with this, like, let's just drop the time change bullshit. Like, time zones, obviously it matters. What matters a lot less if you get rid of those time changes. And that's what we should platform the show on, being anti-things.
Yeah, we're against a lot.
We're against a lot.
We have really a can't-do attitude.
That's what we need to get. Yep, can't-do attitude, very hostile. We need to get that into the branding. Like, we're designers, but we're very difficult to work with. All right. Now what? I wish I could get the vectors in here. I paste vectors in here from Illustrator into
as an actual
Figma.
Vector?
And like, I would love to be working on some of this stuff, because we do on the branding stuff, we do have some issues. Like the imagery, like the look of it again is really cool, but the imagery in our YouTube channel graphic is like barely readable because I've got all kinds of other text in there, and it's what takes precedent. And that needs to be reflected on Twitter.
Oh, well. Right. All these other things.
Other tweets.
You can really keep yourself busy with like updates of things.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, we sort of have a setup going here, and we're both professional designers, so like we have the ability to map it all out, but you need channel graphics and thumbnail graphics and different sets at different resolutions for each social account, and then you need versions of those things. And then we've also been sort of creating templates so we can get wackier thumbnails in there, although I haven't updated a thumbnail in like a month.
Yeah, me neither. I always say I'm going to, and I forget.
That's okay. We're moving. I mean, that's what we wanted to do with this. The whole point for anyone who's listening for us to do this was just to continue designing together. So I mean, if we're doing that, the rest of it's like fun stuff. Oh man, I have other versions of the logo that are great.
Toss them in. Let's evaluate them. Oh, that's so cool.
I loved that one. I was like, I want that on a sweater. Just even devoid of the show, I want to put that on a sweater.
Well, we can have merch soon. Once we get to like 25 episodes, we'll do a merch drop. We'll use one of those sites where it just like prints it on demand, so we don't have to carry inventory. It won't be like great quality though.
Yeah, no, it'll be pretty bad and you'll pay a lot, and but that's the YouTube merch thing. I was thinking we should probably like fight Logan Paul at some point. Or you can fight Logan Paul at some point.
Actually, I'll start working. I mean, out.
Here's
he would kill me probably, but I would fight him. I'd get in a ring with Logan Paul.
That's fine. Yeah, he beats the shit out of you, and you make, I don't know, millions. We just have to do it once, and then our show takes off forever.
Yeah, he is paying. You make a lot of money when you fight, when you're in one of those fights, is all I know. He's throwing like massive shade at Dana White. I don't know much about fighting or UFC, but he's calling Dana White out. Like, it's I like it. It's funny.
Not turning his thing into
for
a
not
total
paying
zoo.
enough. He's just like, yeah, it's I pay, yeah, for not paying enough and for kind of having monopoly, I guess. And I don't know, but it's just really funny because it's probably two people that care about that kind of thing, so they can beef it out. It's entertaining for me. I like watching it because I don't care. I don't care who's right about what. It's almost like a fight, but it's not inside of a ring.
Yeah, no, it goes. It's the new Colosseums. It's the new Roman Colosseums. People just sort of inherently want to watch people fight. They love it. So they get their YouTube T channel. Hold on. I've been hearing about T channels a lot lately. What if we just did that and just gossiped
about?
And all the YouTubers are like, who are these old men?
Yeah, what are these
talking about our lives?
Talk about like TikTokers. Get to start like a TikTok gossip channel.
Whole new subgenre of like internet news.
Is there like a good design gossip channel? Design gossip, app gossip.
Whoa, that would be pretty cool.
Gossip.
Just straight up, just like talking shit about all the influential Twitter designers that we all follow. I'm in. Totally in. Or we can get them on our show and have them collab with us. I think that's the goal here.
That's a better goal.
Like, that could almost be like a pillar statement here. Like, as much as we're saying we want to make a show where we can sit and continue to design, I think in creating a framework, the work that we're doing is so that we can create a comfy place for other designers to come in for an hour and have a laugh and talk about their profession and then get out without, again, feeling like they've just done more work or we've gotten free advice from them.
Yeah. I want the free advice without them knowing they've given it to us. That's a good goal, though. It's like, if we can get other people on the show, I would say that's a good sign.
I mean, that's pretty damn fun. All designers like talking to other designers, don't they?
I hope so.
I mean, all of anything is probably not. Well, that's where you get your other stuff from. Otherwise, you just sort of live in your head and make whatever you make, and then you're freaking good. I just saw you hi to Jan. How are you doing over there?
Oh, did I?
Are you alive?
I'm living.
Are you've had a really tumultuous few days, if you want to talk about it.
In a bit, but yeah, man, I had my COVID second vaccine. It took me out. It's like it
really just like
I almost like. It's funny because I'm like, I bet like the odds are like for me, COVID itself probably would have been not as bad, like asymptomatic. Yeah, I got the chills super bad, and I had a shower at night and try to warm up. And as soon as I got out of the shower, I started like shivering to the point where I could barely move. Like I just had to like let myself, I turned the heat up and I let myself just shiver until I was warm for a minute. And yeah, then I went to bed and had crazy
That's pretty
dreams.
horrifying.
And I couldn't sleep. And that was it.
You did 48 hours of that, didn't you? I have to get mine on the 7th.
It was like a day.
Roll the dice. I'm taking a day off work. If I have to sit on the couch and shiver, I'm like fully.
I found it was worse at night, and then the next day I was just like, yes, mega tired. And at night it was getting me. But it's weird because it's like different for everyone. It's just like some people get like the first vaccine stuff going on. For me, that wasn't. I just kind of got tired and I slept, and then I woke up the next day and. But then the second one, some people are fine. I mixed and matched. I got 2 different mRNA ones. Whatever first, I forget what's what. So yeah, it's a real mystery.
When I went in, I mean, I was talking to my 75-year-old neighbor who said that both vaccines like had absolutely zero effect, which is interesting.
What? Yeah, it's weird.
When I went in for mine, I accidentally selected the box where I said that I have concerns about the vaccine and I need answers. Like there's a box near the bottom that's like, I'm like still iffy about vaccines and like we need to have a chat before I get my vaccine. And they treated me with like kid gloves and they were so concerned about me and it was very nice. And then it was like, so it says here and like da-da-da. And I was like, oh no, I don't care. I don't even care which one. Just put it in my arm. And I'll go home. I want to go home.
It's like when you select the kosher meal on like the flight so that you hope it's better.
Yeah.
Like, no, I have concerns. I said that once when I had to get a root canal, that I was like nervous about it because I thought they would give me like it would be better if I said that. Yeah, they would like be nicer or they give me like more or better drugs to knock me out. And it just ended up costing more. So, great.
So great. So great. I'm just making an extended version of that sentence now. So I see that being applied to like these banners. I'm going to make it really huge. We came up with designers designing live in Figma for your viewing pleasure. I think that immediately changes over to a show where real designers make fake apps. And then I'm going to tone back some of like the text in here because I love these as little stickers, like feature creeps and stuff. But just kind of maybe peel that back a little bit so the text takes like a obnoxious amount of precedent.
That's a pretty good one though. Like in terms of like telling people what we do, like but then again, that only lived on our YouTube cover image, which probably no one
It
would who even sees that, who goes to a YouTube channel page.
it's I mean, my UI, I'm on a MacBook Pro, so it's a little blown out. But when you look at our actual YouTube channel, like that text is obscured in that text is obscured in a way that like nobody's ever going to read that. Like if you landed here for some reason,
it's decoration,
I mean,
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And from a marketing perspective, like that's not the place where people are really going to find out what your channel's all about.
Yes.
But, you know, we clean it up, we do a better job. And then that translates to things like Twitter and,
yeah,
you know, even our Twitter account, what does your bio say?
Man, that's a good. I like it. Yeah, I think we got a good. It feels good when you get a good, like, succinct sentence. You can like stick places. Hopefully it's good anyway. If it's not good, let us know in the chat. How about that?
Yeah, our YouTube description right now says designers designing and doing other designer things live.
It's fun. It's a little
it's fun.
Unspecific.
I'm going to go ahead and swap that over right now. Look at that. I'm actionable. We got an actionable item done. Boom.
Progress.
I showed where real designers make fake apps. Streaming every Thursday live. Perfect. What if we need more than 3 episodes? I guess that's never an issue.
I feel like we can do. I feel like this gives us the freedom to do that. It's almost more of like, yeah. I feel like we would know. I think we'll know. You know what I mean? Like we'll be like, we need another.
Yeah,
let's do another episode
yeah.
and do some more of this, or we need more time, or like we're wrapping it up. Yeah, so it could be.
And I don't think that we need a wrap up episode, do we? Like,
no.
When you're working on an app, the launch of the app, the 3 weeks like prior to launch, I guess depending on the size of the app, it could be 3 months, but it's just absolute pandemonium. And there's a lot of work that has to go in, like on all departments to making sure it launches and the marketing presence is there and everything's fine. But we're not. I mean, obviously, we don't have the capacity to cover that. I don't want to talk about marketing. Like, marketing's a joke that we talk about as we're designing the app, not like a thing that we actually do.
The marketing is fun. And this might be just, you know, the app we end up making might be terrible. So who's going to... The marketing's irrelevant.
I love it. And, you know, I guess we have bullet points here. But yeah, when you were saying, like, we should have the freedom to do that, I think, like, 100% we should have the flexibility to do whatever the fuck we want. And so long as we just keep it in one of these 3 buckets, like, in an order, then we're kind of there. That's good.
Yeah.
How did I ever live without an align tool? Oh, my God. That used to not be in every single
what's bothering
app.
me about it is that the bullets have some padding before them, so
and that's sort of a default like text editor thing. I did move them back a little bit. I almost never want to, and like I guess an app like this is coming from the prototype side of things, where they want you to just get through it quickly and get it working. But in graphic design, or even in CSS and HTML, I never want you to style my bullet. I will style the bullet.
Bullet styling, yeah.
We'll figure that I'm going to get there on my own. You don't need to make that up.
That's a whole thing, styling the bullets and whatnot. Yeah, very important. Never use a default bullet. Come on.
Never use a default bullet. Never do multiple levels of bullets.
Maybe 2.
Like, unless your users are reading what they feel like is a legal document, like once you start jumping down into levels of bullets, it becomes some real unreadable shit on mobile.
Yep.
2's fine, but I swear to God, if there's 3 on this show,
no, we'll never do 3. I can agree to that.
We'll never do 3, and I promise I won't do 12-point font.
Deal.
So we had talked the other day, and we have lots of stuff we have to make for this. We're going to make custom slates for each one of these shows. We're going to... Oh, we need an end slate.
Yeah. That's what we need.
End of show slate. I'm going to make this really big on this canvas because I will be referencing this later. So for the interested out there, your end slate on a YouTube video is that very last frame that's like, hey, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. It's usually like a 10-second video loop or whatever, and then there's some extra buttons. You
Just
can
it's like a bookend,
the episode
to bookend
before
it,
and after.
right? Just
it's
like,
a bookend.
How do we finish this off?
And I'm just going to leave this in this file because otherwise I will forget. End of show slide.
Make it big.
Cool.
Well, that's real. That's some real design show planning by real designers.
No, we did it. I mean, we could have had this chat offline, I'm sure, but it's fun. And now it exists. We can check it out in 5 years, and we're like, holy shit. We ended up just doing a makeup show. What were we even thinking? Ian's makeup tutorial made us billions.
Yeah, the Hi There palette is blowing up.
It's blown right up. All right. Should we wrap her?
That's
it's 11
it.
o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday.
You saw it, folks. Get ready for some awesome shows coming. Subscribe and like.
Yeah, I think in terms of timeline, like we have some work to do, but I mean, we're going to be pecking at it here over the next little while. But I would say the next show we do is like, all right, we're moving into discovery, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, since we don't have an end slate, I guess. I guess that's it.
Are you just gonna? I was gonna say, are you just gonna like pull up a JPEG right now? Yeah. Thanks so much. To all our viewers, thanks for hanging out while we figure out what the actual F we're doing here. I don't have anything else.
No, thanks for coming along this journey with us. Subscribe, and we'll see you next Thursday, 8 Eastern.
Oh, hold on. If for the sake of the format, I'm going to run through the list here. Please reach out and chat with your ideas. But of course, you can email us at any time at thehithereshow@gmail.com. That's thehithereshow@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. It really helps us with the algorithm. And you can also check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/hithertweets. Ian's Porcelain Duck. I'm Nick Brunt. If you just Google those things, you'll get there. And that's my list. That's my social list.
A great list, Nick. All right, everyone.
I'm tightening it up. I'm tightening it right up.
Perfect.
My AirPod just said that battery is low. So this is a perfect moment. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you Thursday, folks.
Talk to you Thursday. Bye.